Hello and welcome back to Second Take Movies, a podcast where we give movies a second look, second chance, second take, if you will. I'm your host, Preston Jenkinson, and joining me, as always, it's my co-host, Jake Twito.
Hey, man.
We're back after a week off.
Yeah, we're back. My fault. Everybody should hate me. Send emails in
Yeah.
and tell them all how much you hate me. You know, we were talking before this. Was in Vegas. I'm still not acclimated to Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Pacific is the dumbest time zone. If you're listening there, you can just go ahead and die. But anyway.
Well, I've been up since 4 a.m. and we're podcasting in a thunderstorm right now, so we'll see.
Ooh, you know what I love? I got that earlier. So you've got the same thing coming through. It's pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay. So
hey, everybody, listen, let me do the weather break for just a minute.
If you're just interested in the weather in South Carolina today, it's storming like it has every day this week.
Wolf.
Where it didn't storm was in 1930s Mississippi, and that's where Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is based. It takes place.
Oh, brother.
The music in this is excellent.
I knew the music. This is the first time I've ever watched this, but I knew all the music. I think they actually used to play this movie at my high school.
Probably.
Which, part of it was filmed in South Carolina, so I get it. In Florence.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would all. I knew they shot in Mississippi. I didn't know they shot in South Carolina.
I think it's like a 70-30, 30 in Florence, 70 in Mississippi.
It must
probably
be difficult.
Got this Ku Klux Klan members in Florence, and
oh boy, yeah. In the deep South during the 30s, 3 escaped convicts search for hidden treasure while a relentless lawman pursues them.
This is a Coen Brothers movie.
Yes. At first glance, it's like, you could dismiss it as like a Three Stooges movie, basically, but it's way more than that.
Is this movie based off the Odyssey?
Very loosely. Well, I mean, it says that at the beginning of the movie, like after.
It does?
Yeah, it says based on Homer's Odyssey.
Shoot, I didn't even see that. Okay, well, I feel vindicated. I'm watching it and I'm like, dude, this is like Dante's Inferno or Homer's Odyssey.
It's not a direct thing, but the old man on the handcart is like the oracle.
Yeah.
And then
I thought I was so smart. I hate to hear that was at the beginning because now I feel dumb that I didn't see it.
You've got the sirens halfway through, and then you've got John Goodman as the Cyclops, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. God, sorry. This movie is a movie about nothing.
Almost.
Which I feel like that's a Coen Brothers movie, though.
Kinda.
What was this? Well, I'm not saying
that's like those short stories they did on Netflix. They're all just collectively called The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and it's just a collection of short stories.
I've never seen it, and I should.
Oh, it's great.
I started it. I started it when I don't have time to dedicate to this, so I stopped. But
it's like each one begins and ends, and it's like they're pretty quick. But it's like lasts like 2 hours maybe. But
positive review of this movie. What do you got?
This is the first movie where the positive and a negative review, one is 100 on Metacritic and the other is a 0 on Metacritic.
Wow. All right.
That's the first time we've had that. They're positive. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone said it's a wild, whacked out wonder. Coen heads rejoice. Liked it.
You can go into the negative. I'm looking something up here. I'm curious now.
Owen Gleiberman of Entertainment Weekly. Why would filmmakers with this much talent work this hard to thumb their noses at everything they put on screen? I would say you're a cynic, sir.
I get that guy's a loser. Okay, yeah. So sorry, this is 2000. So yeah, they've had a career now. I thought Big Lebowski was out. The Fargo, Big Lebowski. I've never seen Raising Arizona. I've never seen Barton Fink.
I hadn't seen that either.
I think there's another one in there. Like the Hudsucker something.
Yeah.
I never seen it. Yeah.
I've seen Lebowski and I haven't seen Fargo.
Pressed boy. My dad's from Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
So he was like, you got to watch this movie because the accents are perfect. I mean, they're outrageous, but it's like, oh yeah,
that is what I love about a Coen brothers movie is they find people that can do perfect accents. Like even George Clooney in this is like his accent is great.
I'm going to tell you something that I know this is going to be troubling. I don't think I like George Clooney in this movie.
I do. I think he's good.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this movie. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Mm-hmm. It's not the greatest movie I've ever seen.
My mom hates this movie.
Does she?
Yeah.
My mama hates this movie. Says about the devil.
My mama hates this movie.
Also, did you pick this movie because there's another reference of Mama Says in this movie?
No, I had no clue there was a
kid. The kids go, Mama Says, and I went, that's why Preston picked this.
This movie starts with prisoners working on a chain gang in the middle of the heat. It's the South, so it's always hot. Always associate the South with hot. And it kind of drags on, and then all of a sudden we cut to a field, and then Everett, Delmar, and Pete, all three of them pop up out the field, and they start running, and then the guards turn around, and they drop back down, and then they finally make it to the railroad.
Which I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I'm going to embarrass myself big time. Now I can't remember his name. Timothy Blake Nelson.
Tim Blake Nelson, yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was in Heavyweights, Holes, and then he was in Watchmen. And then I went and looked and went, oh, shoot, this dude's been in so much.
He's been in so much.
Oh, he's great. I felt terrible, and I went, oh.
When this came out, he was a complete unknown actor, really.
Yeah, he was only the biggest thing he had was Heavyweights with Ben Stiller, which we should do sometime probably. And Donnie,
I don't think is that the Fat Camp movie?
Yes.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
He was on Inside of You podcast with Michael Rosenbaum this past week, and he was talking about how he was also directing a movie while shooting this movie.
I think it was Eye of God, wasn't it?
Is it? Oh. It's like a high school version of Othello.
Yeah.
He was directing that. He was directing that in South Carolina, and he had just finished.
I remember. I remember that whole thing because Josh Hartnett was in that. Josh Hartnett and Julia Stiles, I think, was too.
Julia Stiles and the black guy from 8 Mile. Not Anthony Mackie. Mekhi Phifer, yes.
Mekhi, God, I suck. Yeah, thank you. Wait, Mekhi Phifer, is that the dude? Oh, this is gonna get racist, dude. I'm so sorry. I'm not. I'm going in my head. Is this the guy that's also in The Boys?
No,
is that Mekhi Phifer? No,
that's not Mekhi Phifer.
No, but he is in Divergent, which I shouldn't know because Divergent's the worst. Anyway,
I saw Divergent one time.
We'll keep moving.
Yeah. So they get on the train, and right away you get an idea of Everett's character. He's very selfish. Like he gets on the train and does not help the other two get on the train at all.
You know his name's Ulysses Everett.
Ulysses Everett, yeah.
He's concerned about his daggone pomade in his hair.
Yeah. I'm a dapper Dan man.
That's where I was like, oh, this is the Odyssey. Like he's obsessed with something. This movie is about Everett's journey from being like a selfish cynic to like caring about others and being more of a believer in the mystical stuff, I guess. I still thought he was an a-hole when the movie ended. I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah, he's not, but he's an asshole, but you don't hate him, you know?
No, he's likable.
Yeah, he's very selfish throughout the whole movie, and they end up at Pete's cousin's. They hitch a ride from the blind oracle on the hand cart,
and they're going on an expedition to find buried treasure before they make a lake out of his place.
Yeah, Everett's told him that he's got some money buried, and the oracle tells him, you will find a cow on the roof of a cotton house.
Okay, so I watched this in 2 watchings.
Okay.
So the first part, I finished it today, to be fair. First part, some of that, I don't remember it all. So that makes a lot more sense at the end now.
Yes.
Okay.
You will find a cow on a cotton house, and you will find a treasure for which you do not seek.
But they go to the House of Wash with Pete's cousin, and Hit Boy sells them out. Calls the sheriff.
Paul says I'm supposed to shoot anybody from the bank. You fellas from the bank?
How? I was gonna pull the like a person from the South. You watch this movie, do you get offended? Not offended, but you're like, no. Come on, man, we're not like this.
Well, I mean, it was
1930s.
This is also the 30s, and we weren't all connected to everything back then. And
valid.
A lot of people still didn't have electricity, and they lived mostly to themselves. And
which turns out is a part of this movie. Had no idea of getting electricity. Like, oh,
right. That's the big theme. Is like the future is coming, and they're flooding this valley because they're building a dam for hydroelectricity to connect everybody.
Which somebody said, like, so where I am up at the northwest of the state, like they built lakes for dams.
Yep,
they're not hydroelectric. I don't think.
They probably
But I was reading, they're like, this is all based on South Carolina, the tip, like doing this. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, there's buried towns. Like you can go scuba diving.
Yeah. They I guess they evacuated people out of those things or something.
No, they killed all those people.
Or probably did. Yeah, back then
wash
they probably did.
Clean them, like, clean them up.
We're flooding the valley.
Clean them up.
We're flooding the valley at this time. If you're not out, oh well.
we gave you notice.
Yeah,
but doesn't his son help them escape though?
Yeah, they sleeping in the barn, and we meet our sheriff, who is also supposed to represent the devil. Because that when the well, we'll get to that, but they start burning the barn to get them out of there, and then that kid comes flying in, sitting on like some books, and he's got like bricks on his feet to drive the car. That's great. I'm RUNOFT. Runned off.
I runned off. And like watching this was so crazy. Like I was like, I feel like I'm in high school again.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of mountain hicks up here. That's right. I don't care if you're listening up here. You're a mountain hick. I'm a sandlapper. I don't know nothing.
And
they get away. I'm trying to remember, how did they meet up with Tommy, the guy who sold his soul to play guitar?
Yeah, they pass him on the road because they send the kid back home and they take his car, and then they stop and he describes the devil as hollow eyes and hollow voice and carries a hound with him, and that's the sheriff that's looking for him. And he says, y'all going past Tippaminga, there's a fella up there that'll pay you money to sing into a can. And Tommy has sold his soul to the devil. Oh, before that, though, they meet all those people that are going to get baptized.
Oh, yeah, crap, yeah.
To Alison Krauss music. And Pete says, the preacher says all my sins is washed away. Come on in, boys. The water's fine.
Those two dudes,
they're
not George Clooney.
Yeah.
I mean, George Clooney's great, too.
Pete and Delmar.
Oh, my God, dude. That's some of the best like supporting actors I've ever seen in my life.
Well, Tim Blake Nelson said, like, to save money, they would... they had to find 2 other guys that wouldn't mind not getting a close-up because they did all they would get like the 3-shot of all of them doing something. Then they'd get the close-up on Clooney, and then Tim Blake Nelson was already friends with the Coen brothers, and it was like, he's not going to mind if he doesn't get a close-up. So they would just do Clooney's close-up in every scene and move on.
That's one thing I noticed in this is Clooney gets so many close-ups, and it's I mean, he's the main character, kind of.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he's Ulysses.
I mean, yeah. The guy Tommy Johnson, that guy has like I don't know how many Grammys and Country Music Awards.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton. Like I sold like 10 million records. I think maybe from this some too.
Yeah.
Did you watch? I've never seen it. So the Ray Charles movie.
Mm-mm.
He's in the Ray Charles movie as the band leader. So
okay.
God did himself good, man.
And when they get to the radio station, there's a blind man running it, who is the guy from Office Space with the glasses. That's worried about his stapler. I never remember his name, but
he's so good. He's also Bill Dauterive.
Bill Dauterive on King of the Hill. He's in a bunch of Mike Judge movies.
Yeah, and he was in Silicon Valley too. Golly, what's his name? He's so good.
He's great.
I gotta.
You know him when you see him.
That boy is Stephen Root. Duh.
Stephen Root.
Stephen Root. Yeah, he is so good, man.
And he says he doesn't. How do I put this?
Doesn't record white people.
Well, no, he doesn't record. No, it doesn't record black people.
No, that was a trap.
But he uses a word that we're not even gonna get close to saying.
African?
Yeah.
Cool.
And so they just all of a sudden come up with Man of Constant Sorrow. It's great.
I've never watched this movie, but I've always loved the name Soggy Bottom Boys.
Soggy Bottom Boys.
And I've said that for a long time, and it's like, that's from this? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear the Soggy Bottom Boys.
So on their way out, they run into the governor, Pappy O'Daniel, who also has a flour mill, and he sells Pappy O'Daniel's flour on the radio, and he's going into the Pappy O'Daniel radio hour because there's an election coming up, and he's mass communicating.
This all gets so foggy in my brain. I'm like, what the hell is happening in this?
It all comes together.
It's a Coen Brothers movie, and I feel like they got better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is bad. I feel like they got better of, we're going to make this branched and wild.
Mm-hmm.
Then it'll connect. But here it's kind of like, yeah, you're getting branched and wild, and I don't.
Right now, it seems like we're meeting random people, but you know what? In the end, it's all going to pay off. And so later on down the road, they get caught up to again, but this time they leave the car next to an old barn, and then they're sleeping in the woods. And so they're walking down the road, and they get picked up by Babyface Nelson.
That's a real dude, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's like I don't know how accurate it was him being in Mississippi in the 30s. I don't think he ever was.
No, he was like an Illinois, Indiana guy. He was with John Dillinger.
Yeah, he was. He ran with John Dillinger back then. So they were mostly in the Midwest.
You ever like? I need to just get weird and stuff like and read about all those guys like John Dillinger.
Mm-hmm.
Those dudes were bad, dude. They were wild. Just that's some cool stuff. That's our next podcast. Hey guys, the Gangster Hour is starting now. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, I mean, Johnny Depp played John Dillinger in Public
Funny
Enemy.
enough, I was about to say Depp Watch 2024. He's still awesome. Amber's still pooping on the bed. That's the end.
She's still a terrible person. She was in Aquaman 2 all of 5 minutes.
Good.
That's a terrible movie. I don't know what happened.
It's disappointing, and I want 100. Like, the whole time I'm like, all right, look, I know James Gunn's gonna come in. That's cool, but Aquaman 2 is gonna be okay. Like, no, I didn't finish it. It was awful.
Like, he closes the thing by saying, "I am Aquaman." It's like, all right, dude. Like, just what a fart in the wind to the end of that era of DC. Anyway.
It was garbage.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But so they kind of get captured or discovered, and they leave ways with Tommy. Does the police get Tommy in the car?
Tommy just leaves.
Tommy just okay.
Yeah,
but their car's discovered, and that's where they meet Babyface Nelson.
Yeah,
and they don't even know they just had this recording and it's the biggest hit in the world, or the South,
and
whatever.
And it's been making money all over the place.
Don't think so. And this was this whole movie. It's hilarious. I know you talked about Buster Scaggs, but this movie is kind of episodic, where this thing happens, it ends, and that's where I'm like, this is like the Odyssey fully.
Yeah, and so
they're near a river and they just hear people singing.
Yeah,
because some women.
It's three women, and they're supposed to be the sirens from Homer's Odyssey. And they get the three fellas drunk
on corn whiskey.
Right, Delmar and Everett wake up the next morning, and all of Pete's clothes is laid there, and he's
There's
gone.
A toad in it.
And then all of a sudden, it's a horny toad. Pete and Delmar thinks it's Pete, and so he's convinced that toad was Pete. And so he puts him in a little shoebox. And they got all that. I was trying to remember where they got the money from.
I was about to ask you, where did they get the money? Is that from when they figured out that they're selling stuff really well?
Nelson. He just leaves their campsite that night. That's how Babyface George Nelson leaves them.
Yeah,
it's he just drops all his money that they had just robbed a bank, and he drops his entire share on the ground, and he just walks off in the woods. So they've got this money in, and they head to somewhere in some town. That's where we meet John Goodman.
Big Dan
represents the Cyclops in this movie. Big Dan is a Bible salesman.
Oh man, that dude.
He realizes they've got money and tricks them into having a picnic out in the middle of nowhere, basically.
I did not see, I saw him walk to the tree branch.
And
I went, what's he doing with that tree branch? And he snapped it off, and I went, is he going to hit them with that? And then he hit him with it, and I went, oh, he's just going to hit him. That's it, Delmar, that's it. And then he hit him, and I went, oh, shoot, what is like?
And Everett just is confused the whole time, and is
oh, okay.
He can't even see selfishness and terribleness in another person, let alone himself. Because Delmar gets takes a branch to the face and is constantly fighting Big Dan, and
even worse than that, Big Dan kills Pete. He chunks that toad.
He takes that toad. I couldn't remember if he stepped on it or he squeezed it with his hand.
Squeezed it and throws it on the tree. You think that was real?
I don't know.
I think he really squeezed a real toad and threw it.
It's possible.
I got no problem with it. I mean,
I don't either, but I doubt they did that. This was
2000s, so
we were entering the new millennium. I think we were kind of no animals were harmed in the making of this movie. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, all them PETAs. Yeah. I mean, PETAs.
I think the Coen brothers are a lot better than Francis Ford Coppola. So
beautiful. Francis Ford Coppola. What do you? Okay, I hate to switch gears. Have you seen the Megalopolis trailer?
Yes.
He's funding the whole thing. Is it his greatest work or his biggest tragedy?
I'm interested to see it either way.
Oh yeah, I'll watch this. If it's a train wreck, I'll enjoy it. If it's great, great. But
he's a terrible person. Have you read the stuff that happened on that set that he did, supposedly?
I heard he squeezed the toad and threw it on a tree.
No. He's kissing extras in the background and inviting women to come sit on his lap at the Video Village, and
Big Dan takes
freshly
off
robbed
money.
From Big Dan. Yes.
And this is where I realized I didn't know this. At this point, they actually tell you, and I'm so dumb. Also, I've got Vegas mind. My brain's fried. I'm like, oh, they're going to Everett's hometown.
Yes.
I never put two and two together until this point.
Everett's goal the whole time is to get his wife back.
Yeah.
And the treasure, quote unquote, is the story he told Pete and Delmar.
So on the way back, let's see Pete on the chain gang again.
And they're completely confused.
Did Pete have a brother? Huh. Must be the heat.
Pete have a brother? Must be the heat. So Everett, there's a rally going on for the other candidate for governor who's got a little person with a broom. It's great.
I died. I'm like, that's the most Coen Brothers thing in this entire movie.
Yeah. It's like,
because
the first time you see him is on a campaign truck in the middle of nowhere going by farm fields and stuff, and there's a little person sweeping a broom, and they're playing a song, and I can't remember the character's name that's running for governor, but
Homer Stokes.
Homer Stokes. That makes sense.
Homer Stokes.
So they make it to the town, and Everett sees 3 of his children. Yes, there's more. They're singing a song at the rally, and he's like, "Hey, where's your mama?" And he's like, "Daddy, you ain't run over by a train."
Mama says you got run over by the train.
And she got her a new man. He's bona fide.
God dang. I was like, man, say what you want to about anything, but the actual like conversations and dialogue in these movies are perfect.
The Coen brothers are great with dialogue. But he finds his wife, who's played by Holly Hunter, Elastigirl.
What?
Batman and Elastigirl.
Holly Hunter. Keep on. Never mind. I'll be quiet.
What's wrong with Holly Hunter?
I don't know what it is about her. I can't stand her. There's just something about her that's like, I have no reason. I legitimately don't have a reason. But
okay,
can't stand
that's
her.
fair. She's fine in this. I mean, it's just.
Well, she was, and I was like, wait a minute, is that Holly Hunter? No, it's not. And then I went, oh yeah, it is.
I get her. I always confuse her with the girl that voices Princess Carolyn in BoJack. Amy Sedaris, I think. Her name is.
They're about the
very similar cadence of voice and everything. But Holly Hunter is Elastigirl in The Incredibles. So
I didn't realize that actually.
Yep. So he's like, I want to get back together, and she's like, no, I got this new guy. He gets in a fight with the new fiance.
And gets kicked out.
And he's kicked out of the Five and Dime now. And
I love that line of Mom's at the Five and Dime, or
Mama's at the Five and Dime
looking for nickels. What?
I think it was either nipples or nickels. I think it's nipples. Like for nipples? A baby bottle.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Got it. I've been in Vegas. I'm just saying.
And then
don't worry out there.
There's also a baby that he had no clue about. He's like, when did you tell me about that one? It's like, how many children do y'all have? So him and Delmar go to the movie theater, and then it gets cut off halfway through, and then the prisoners they saw working on the road coming in all get treated to a movie, I guess.
That was the
for good
weirdest
behavior.
thing ever of cut it off, and then 5 minutes later, you're done.
And they see Pete, and he's like, do not seek the treasure.
That was the weirdest. Like, I laughed so hard.
Yeah.
Like, why are you guys talking like this right now?
Because he had been almost strung up by the sheriff. Because that's where Pete went to when we left him with sirens. He got picked up by the cops there.
We thought you were toad. What is happening?
Do not seek the treasure.
Also, for video people, I'm not pregnant and milking. I just spilled water on my shirt. I want to be really crystal clear. I'm gonna actually do this. Yeah, but hey, they find out Pete's alive and they break him out that night.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Everett is showing that he can be not selfish.
Well, and especially right after this, because he tells them all, there's no treasure.
There's no treasure.
I wanted to get my wife. We were a chain gang.
Yeah, I was stuck to you, and I had to tell you something. Yeah.
That whole thing, though, of Pete's like, I had 2 weeks left on my sentence. Now I'll be 87 when I get out. God,
and so they're back in the woods for some reason. I guess because they got nowhere else to go because they're hiding again.
Dodging police at this point.
That's right. And then, oh, buddy.
350 Ku Kluxers, baby.
Okay, question. What's the better clan? This is a terrible question, I guess, but what's the better clan scene in a movie? This or in Django?
Oh.
With Don Johnson and Jonah Hill.
Yeah. I don't know. I like this one more, I think.
Yeah.
But that one's perfect.
I love that whole conversation in Django, though. It's hilarious.
Overall, this one's... I like Django more.
Yeah.
I think Django wins it. The conversation's hilarious. This is... I don't know. It's the same school of just, like, good beats. Like, this is awkward, but...
Yeah. So, yes, we've happened upon a clan rally, and they're about to hang Tommy. There's Tommy again. He somehow got caught by the clan, and so they sneak down there, and I think they blackened their face when they broke Pete out of jail. I think they kind of got like grease paint on their face. Yeah, and they take out the color guard, and it's like, we're here to save you, Tommy.
The color guard's colored.
It's great.
I did not expect the daggum guy running for governor to be the grand champion of the grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan.
Grand wizard, yeah.
And Big Dan's there, and I love his mask has one eye hole cut
one
out
eye,
too.
yeah. And he smells Dapper Dan.
Dude, that
in George Clooney's hair.
They get unhooded, and the scene where they chunk that flag, is the greatest thing I've seen. And then John Goodman catching it is even better.
Yeah,
and the cross falling.
They snip the cross, and they run out of there with Tommy, and they head to a campaign rally.
Well, I have to. There's one awkward moment here. Preston, they had modern day cable snips to kill that.
Hey, it's
these guys got to do better. Okay,
it's a little anachronistic.
I know they're up and comers, but do better. Yeah. So they rush away back into town, and there's a
some kind of radio program, I guess.
Yeah, it's a campaign program.
Yeah. And Pepe O'Daniel finds out who the other guy's campaign manager is, and it's Holly Hunter's new husband, almost fiance. So our four protagonists sneak on stage, and they get these fake beards or whatever, and they start singing songs, and they eventually get to Man of Constant Sorrow, and everybody realizes
it's freaking
the Soggy Bottom Boys. Yeah.
Dude, I could watch a whole movie of those guys dancing.
Oh, George Clooney dancing was hilarious, dude.
It's like, what am I watching?
What is
I'm okay
happening?
With this is great.
And then Homer, the other governor, comes in and grabs a microphone and says, "I belong to a secret society. I don't have to tell y'all nothing about it. Y'all know.
These boys, they're not." I can't remember what he says. Like,
he's basically calling them black.
I was like, oh boy.
He's like, they ain't even, our culture and heritage and blah, blah,
they're
blah.
They're inconspicuous up there.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the campaign manager's like, kill that.
Yeah, no.
That just goes to show you, as talented as you are, you can get away with crime. Don't you know?
Why did they bring a big log in to carry him out?
And why was it ready to go?
I just sat there going, what am I watching now? What is
that
this?
Has to be some kind of old Southern, like, I guess it's kind of like the white version of the Apollo where they grab your, the cane and hook you off the stage or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I think it's riding a rail is the. Okay. I don't know if that's offensive. It's
probably a very old Southern thing that we're not aware of.
Like I know Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln had a quote about it, and what am I trying to say, ma'am? Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
Mm.
They get paraded out on a rail, and it's like, oh, but you're supposed to get ridden out on a rail and tarred and feathered while you do it.
That's probably what happened then. He probably got tarred and feathered because he tried to put the Soggy Bottom Boys, which everybody loves now, in jail.
Y'all can't mess with the Soggy Bottom Boys.
That's right. They making money. They're selling records.
It's the Soggy Bottom Boys.
God,
so perfect. Penny agrees to remarry him though.
Yeah.
After he gets a full pardon from the governor.
Yeah. Okay. And then we see George, and you know what? It's all wrapping up because we see George Nelson again. That wasn't just a no nonsense thing. He's going to the electric chair. It's like, hey George.
Hey guys, I'm going to get electrocuted. Woo!
So they go back to his old house to get the wedding band that she wants, and wouldn't you know it, the devil sheriff is there.
They gonna hang them all, which I love. This is gonna like, what's his name? Thomas has made a deal with the devil, Tommy, so he's not gonna get hung because he made a deal with the devil. He's gonna be fine, but 3 other boys, no. And they all start praying, and guess what? The daggum levee breaks, and the water comes.
Everett finally starts praying.
Yeah.
And the levee breaks, and it floods the whole valley, and he comes back up to that thing. He's like, well, this is all a perfect scientific explanation for all of this. They was flooding this valley, and that wasn't a tune you singing through a couple minutes ago.
That dude, man, it was perfect. I know so many people that talk just like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I really applaud that. I know he's leaning into a stereotype, but holy crap, dude.
It's a stereotype for a reason.
Yeah.
And then Everett sees the cow on the cotton house amongst everything in the water.
And Tommy's floating on a desk where his ex-wife says the ring is.
On the roll top desk that she said the ring was. And
so they go back to the city. They find out that now they have power. I think it was 6 months later or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
And he doesn't have the right ring. Clint, this is when I was like, is this about Odyssey? Because I'm an idiot and didn't watch the beginning of it. I think I was cooking when it started, to be fair.
Yeah.
Everett makes a line about finding one little ring in the middle of all that water is one hell of a heroic task.
Yeah.
And that's like Theseus goes and finds a ring at the bottom to prove he was the son of Poseidon. Look, man, I'm a weirdo. My Greek stuff is great. I played that game Hades, and I got really interested. Have you ever played that game? If there's a demo, you got to try it. It's so difficult.
See,
the story's so good.
God of War, the new God of War games, got me really way too deep on Norse mythology.
That's psycho stuff, dude.
That's whoever came up with that. It was wild, dude. Like
my family's heritage is all Norwegians, and so I looked into that when I was in high school and went, I don't want to read this ever. I don't want to do this. This is wild. Is bad. It is not cool. Like Greek mythology is wild enough. Norse, that's some psycho bullcrap.
They saw the Greek stuff and were like, hold my beer. I can fix it. I can do better.
Oh, you're sleeping with your sister? Hold on. We can make this better.
We can make this fucking weird, dog.
Oh, dogs. You like screwing dogs?
Loki's son is a wolf.
Loki's a frost giant, though.
Yeah.
That's it. This sucker ends.
Yes.
It just ends. And what ends with the blind guy pumping.
With the oracle pumping the handrail on down the track.
I think that's supposed to be I can't pronounce his name. I wrote it in my notes. I'm really trying hard to remember my Greek stuff here.
He's a blind oracle.
How to pronounce this? Tarsius?
Okay.
Apollo's blind prophet.
Gotcha.
And Thebes. But I'm assuming that's what that's supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
Which at this point I went, oh shoot, I understand most of this movie. I get it. Like I understand what they're doing, but
this is Homer's Odyssey of Ulysses.
That being said, I give this a 7/8.
I give it an 8.5.
I didn't hate it. I need to watch it again.
I really like it. I like it a lot.
I've never seen it. I need to watch it from beginning to end, no break,
and
figure it out.
It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's really short. Which I fell asleep. That's why we split it. To be very honest with you, I was full on knocked out. Just
that's fair.
Done.
Well, with that, we move on to what we watching, what we playing, what we reading, what we.
I finished X-Men today.
Ooh, I haven't yet.
Okay.
It's like a 43-minute episode, and
it's good. It's good. It is good. That's all I'm gonna say.
A lot of people that cover shows like that have a lot of blurred out thumbnails on YouTube. So
we'll talk next week. We'll talk next week, or I'll text you later or something.
I'm sure there's some crazy stuff that happens.
I don't know, man.
And I
don't even know. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've watched or done anything, man. I've been out of town so much that I hadn't had time for crap. But I don't know. I'm so blown away how good that series is. I was losing faith in Marvel stuff. Just being
when
dragged out.
When it first started, I was like, this is okay.
Yeah, same. Episode 4 hit, and I went,
and boom, 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 boom. I was like, all right, I like this.
I think it's hilarious, though, of everyone's like, this is a woke show. We're not watching it. And then you watch more, and it's like, oh, this show's brutal. This is great.
Yeah, because, one character is considered a they, them, or whatever that is. And it's Morph, who can literally morph into anything, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, Morph has both, dude.
It's not like it's preached on either. It's just that's just what he is.
I'm really I'm curious. I'm trying to watch what I'm going to say. I'm curious to what other shows are going to come out of this, because I'm willing to bet Spider-Man's going to get a revival. The 90s Spider-Man. And I'd be all right with that.
Be great. Because I remember that show very fondly. Now, the last time I saw it, I was 7 years old.
It holds up. It holds up, man. I watched them all. I watched them all not too long ago. Then I watched, God, what was the...
I remember
Spider-Man is in the future.
They had Morbius on that show, and, he was a vampire that sucked through his hands, and he only drank plasma, and he couldn't actually drink blood or whatever. I was like, that's funny.
Did you see Spider-Man Unlimited?
Where he's in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should finish that. That's what they should do. I was down with it. It was crazy.
I just remember... That's probably why Daredevil's my favorite character, is because I saw him on that Spider-Man series when I was a kid.
Hell yeah, it was awesome.
And I was like, whoa, what is this? And, I just, started reading a bunch of Daredevil stuff, and he's probably my favorite superhero ever.
I'm going to change topics.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and change topics. Did you see that Nick Cage is going to be the live-action Spider-Man noir?
Yes, dude. I am so down for that.
I mean, I think I said it a couple weeks. I've said it several times. I'm done with superhero stuff. I'm just burnt out. It's formulaic. It's dumb. Now I'm like, yes, yes, yes.
Now, I am completely ready for Deadpool and Wolverine.
I have so much faith in it. I don't care.
I'm so excited for that.
I don't care. Everything I don't either. It's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, I texted you. I've been watching since Funhouse is over.
All them demo discs, baby. R.I.P.
Just go. There's so much good. Even with Adam in there, it's still.
I black out all his drama. I know this is awful. I just don't care. I just sit back. I'm like, this is hilarious.
His drama started out. It was okay, he there's a good reason he got fired, because he took nudes in the office or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably cheated on his wife, but seems like they moved past it. But then the sexual harassment stuff came out, and that's the reason why Bruce left. And I'm like, Oh.
Do you watch? Bruce has a new channel.
Yeah, I watch his Inside Games.
No, the Butt Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, I did that. I love it. I feel like it's old Funhouse all the way.
I was never really a big like Lawrence could be funny, but like I wasn't.
And also be creepy.
He could be creepy and a bit of a smart ass and like know it all, and I was like, it's whatever. But
Bruce is the goose. That's all.
Anyway, anyone who has never watched Funhouse or anything like that is like, what?
Man, it made me happy when you text me. You're like, this was 2 weeks ago, I think, of their last live stream, their last documentary. Man, it got me. It was like, like this is really stupid. I'm gonna be like the Reddit now of them. Like Logan never watched YouTube. I loved YouTube forever. Like I could just do that. And then one day I showed her Funhouse, and she's like, "Oh, I want to watch stuff." And then now we watch a bunch of random crap. So that was the gateway drug.
I didn't find them till like 2019. I want to say, like the middle of 2019.
Oh, that's the primo era, man.
Because I remember watching like Inside Game stuff on like, because that was when Google Stadia was coming out, and I was like, they were shitting on it, and I was like, no, man, this is the future or whatever, and it's not.
Nope, they were dead on.
Boy, was I wrong.
I'm probably gonna watch this when we get off here. One of my favorites of them is they have a talk show called Talking Stalkings.
Oh God,
where they watch that TV show, but like the last episode they did, people are
trashed,
hammered. I mean, it is.
Bruce is in an avocado suit or whatever, and
it's
it's unhealthy drunk where it's like, oh, they're blacked out.
I kind of miss that era YouTube though, of just do whatever.
Mm-hmm. But what else? I rewatched The Prestige recently because I've been reading the book it's based on.
It's a good book.
The book is a lot different than the movie.
It is. I prefer the movie,
but they're both good in their own way.
Yeah.
The book deals with a lot more of like the descendants trying to figure out the feud between the two guys. But yes, I do prefer the movie where we actually get to see the feud.
Yeah.
Between the magicians, and it's the story is a lot better. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Like I said, I'm gonna finish up X-Men today, and it sounds like it's really good.
Yeah. You text me when you're done. I just want to get your take because I don't know. And I don't want to learn anything. I don't want to give you any kind of nothing. Just
right.
Yeah. Also, there is end credits.
Cool.
It's just stick around. That's all.
Gotcha.
Only 2. Not
only one.
There's no 2. Only 1.
Next week we're starting the new Planet of the Apes trilogy. Partly because, well, we've kind of already missed the new release of the new movie.
Yeah, we suck.
But my 10-year-old nephews told me that he was allowed to watch those, so we're gonna try to make 3 episodes that he can listen to. Maybe.
Let's go ahead and say it now publicly. Let's see how clean we can stay for it.
Yes.
Boy. Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna watch. The next 3 weeks. You're gonna watch 2 guys struggle to reel it in because the first movie is the whole James Franco of it all.
Oh shoot! I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. No, I don't think anybody listens to this part of the episode. I think I'm gonna start with a joke about how unfortunately James Franco is dead and he's never done anything else.
Oh man, he's still alive.
I don't think so.
He walks around New York in like a freaking bathrobe and slippers or something.
Yeah. If you have a suggestion for what we should do, you can send that to secondtakemoviespod@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram at secondtakemovies. Jake, you got any final words for us?
Guys, whatever you do not walk the Vegas Strip in the heat and have to poop. Because what you will do is crap your pants. And if you do, then you stayed on my 54th floor at the Harrah's. Because when I got off the elevator, someone had crapped their pants and put it in a trash can. And I could smell it from my room. And then I woke up the next morning, and it was the group beside me. And it was a bunch of girls on a bachelorette weekend. And a girl crapped her pants. And I just hated all of it. So, guys, crap your pants. That's all I'm saying. There you go.
Hydrate, too. Hydrate. Drink water.
Oh, man, dude. Yeah, that sucks. Water's good for you.
So next week we'll be back with Rise of the Planet of the Apes.